I
And
mean,
then one of the producers on it is actually quoted in here saying there were a couple of poker scripts and we looked at the competitive project, but nothing was as insider as what this was referring to.
really, that's
Referring,
interesting. I
yeah.
haven't heard that before. Yeah, I wonder what scripts those were that they were looking. Huh.
What
I don't know. The whole thing is so bizarre because looking back on it now, you have to understand that there weren't any poker movies. It didn't exist. Nobody knew what Hold'em was. No
Nope.
one knew what No Limit Hold'em was. Nobody knew what the World Series of Poker was. No one knew anything about it. There hadn't been a poker movie since the Cincinnati Kid or something.
Hey everybody, special weekend edition of Fade the Mahoney. This one's probably going to drop either Saturday or Sunday. You'll know when you're looking at it. Our episode with Jag about rounders. You people like rounders talk, and you guys like Jag. So thank you for clicking and watching that one. That one's doing really well. We've got a special guest coming up in just a few minutes, but Edonk had a hand he wanted to go over from yesterday. So we're going to get the graphics department involved and go over the hand real quick here before our special guest, Nick, joins us. So Edonk, lay it on me.
Yeah, so just to give you a sort of a background of the game's playing pretty big. We're playing 2, 5, 10. Sometimes the 20s are on. In this hand, the 20 was not on. But I had about 2,400 effectives to start. We decide to limp under the gun with the 7 deuce offsuit, or I'm sorry, 7 deuce of diamonds. Yeah, my plan all along was just to limp re-raise with this hand. The game had been playing pretty big. Just that was my plan. So
this is an advanced plan, everybody, to limp under the gun with the 7 deuce. Advanced.
I mean, yeah, you got to have a plan, right? If you play a hand, you got to have a plan. So there's a couple limpers, and the button makes it 60. This gentleman had been playing pretty solid, you might argue that he might not be a great candidate to limp re-raise, but I had a plan and we were going to stick to it.
Okay.
So he makes it 60, I make it 185. All the blinds folded. So I made it 185. Everyone else folds. The button then calls pretty quickly. And at this point, I kind of eliminate 2 hands for sure, aces and kings. Okay. For sure, because there was never any thought of 4-betting there. Okay. So we go to the flop of Jack of diamonds, 6 of diamonds, 4 offsuit. I don't know what the other was. I wrote this down. Yes, pretty good flop for my hand.
Pretty good flop.
All things considered. I see bet 240. He thinks about it for a while and calls. The turn is a 7. Obviously no diamond, but 7. So now I decide to check it over because I think he's going to be betting a lot of his. I put him on a few different hands. I thought he might have one of the hands, which now I'm beating, is ace king of diamonds. The other hand was queens, and I thought he might be calling with a lot of his, 8s, 9s, 10s, jacks, and so my hand. After the turn, if I check, it sort of looks, it looks like ace king that I'm just like giving up with. Mm-hmm. And so I decided to check it over to him. And at this point, he bets like in the neighborhood of like 480, 490-ish. And I am left with, let's see here, 12, 17, it's like 1,600. And I decide to rip it.
I was going to say, it sounds like it's time to go upstairs.
Yeah, my hand is, I think my hand looks pretty strong there, but anyways, doesn't take him too long. And he calls with 2 black queens. And it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know, head scratcher to me, because I mean, he can't really beat anything besides my hand, but he wins. River is a brick. I bricked out.
So you played a nearly 5K pot with the old 7 deuce. Does that sound about right?
How much?
Nearly. You said you started with like 2,400, right?
Yeah, I think I had him covered by like maybe 500 or so.
Okay, so a 4K pot. A lot of heart, not good for the bankroll. Let's transition to this guy. Look who we've got. We've got Hustler Casino Live, recent star, Nik A. Can you hear me okay,
Hey
Nick?
guys. Yeah, how are you guys doing?
Good, how are you?
What's up, Nick?
How's it going, you dunk?
Nick, you and I have never met or spoken formally. Lots of correspondence on Slack, so it's good to finally meet you. Have you?
Nice
You
to
guys
meet
have
you.
met, right? You guys tussled in Vegas at one point, right?
Yeah, we played a few pots together.
I don't remember them.
Who
I
was
do.
playing? Who was playing that night, Nick? Was it Mick or Rick?
On Tuesday?
No. When you were playing with the E-Donk, was Nick playing or was it Mick? Who was it?
Whoever the drunk one is.
Okay, the drunk one.
I didn't have the pleasure of playing with that guy. I had the unfortunate pleasure of playing with some fucking nit.
All right, let's do a real quick, just a real quick introduction. I'm going to tell the people what I know about you. If you could fill in anything I miss, and then we're going to do some Hustler Casino Live and some LA poker talk, if that's cool with you, Nick.
Sure, whatever.
Here's what I know. You were in California for a while. You moved to New York. You had all your shit stolen. And that was a wrap on all your shit, right? It just never showed up.
That's basically the story. Yeah, we moved out here. The shit never showed up, all of our stuff. And after 3 months and screaming at the movers every day, we just said, fuck it, and rebought everything. And it was the most tilting experience of all time.
Do you know that story, dog? They
I was
wanted-
not going to mention it. I can't imagine wanting to recap that story.
What a tilting way to start the morning. I got to recap that story. My
Yeah.
positions are just getting hammered in the market on the open. Oh my God, what a way to start the day.
All right. So you're from the LA area, or at least you were living there. So you were on Hustler Casino Live on Tuesday, and the vibe that I got, and maybe I read some stuff you said, you know a lot of those guys, you've played with a lot of those guys before.
Yeah, so I mean, when I was in LA, I used to play in all of Ryan and Nick's organized private games pretty frequently. They were smaller stakes. We used to only play like 10, 20 or whatever, but I played with almost all those guys. And then over the COVID time, you know, we've been playing on the apps. And so I've played like a trillion hands with all those guys and, you know, been needled them a ton. So yeah, definitely very friendly, even though I haven't played on stream with them. So it was fun to be back with everyone.
So all of the stories that I've read over the past however many months, it seems like years, about the constant kicking in the balls that you get on the app, those are those same guys?
Yeah, some of those hands. Yeah, those, like, I don't know if you guys heard, but when I stacked Francisco early, I started telling him that I'm a pro. The reason for that is because last week when we were playing on the app, me and Francisco played 2 big pots. One of them, I can't remember the exact action, but on the river, like, it was a paired board, and there was 4 to a flush, and I had the nut flush. And there was like maybe 4 or 5K in the pot, and he checks to me, and I bet like 2K, something small, and he shoved for like 5 and change. So it was like I had to call 3 to win like over 10, and I just like snap fucking folded, and I was tilted and losing that night, and so I snap folded, and he just instantly shows me a bluff and starts screaming over the mic, I'm a pro, I'm a pro. And then like 5 minutes later, like now I'm even more tilted because like first of all, like usually I just pay it off and just like I'm tilted I can't fold, but this time I was like, oh, I'll make the discipline fold, and of course he's bluffing. 5 fucking minutes later, he stacks me in some hand where I obviously don't make the discipline fold, and he starts screaming into the chat, I'm a pro, I'm a pro. Let me know if you want to let me know if you want lessons. And so after I stacked him, I had to try to get him back.
When I was watching the stream, and that particular hand, I assumed you guys must have had a little bit of history because
Yeah, we've played a ton. I love Francisco. He's the man.
okay. Edonk, you would agree that the LA poker vibe seems quite a bit different than what we do around here? I mean, you guys yell at each other. You guys do shit all the time. It's like a different world.
There's some similarities. It's definitely on a another level in comparison to what we're used to. I mean, it definitely is. Like I said, there's similarities, but yeah, it seems.
Put it this way: did you guys see all that?
I love.
Do you guys see all that drama last night with Skills Rock or whatever, Julio?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That
Couple
shit's
nights ago.
fucking hilarious to me. I just think that's awesome. Like that was the greatest show ever. I think it was so entertaining. Like fucking he's looking at Barry's cards, he's kicking Antonio under the table. He's they're oh my gosh, that's just fucking classic LA poker to me. Like all that shit. Like when you go to a home game, that shit's just so fucking standard. And I just think it's pure entertainment.
Now, if that happened around here, and you had the wrong or maybe the right person at the table, things wouldn't end well for you physically
I bet.
that night. But you're saying out there, it's just the price of doing business?
I mean, Julio gives it away. So I mean, everyone knows what Julio is. I feel like personally, I feel like most of these characters, like, you know what they are. It's not like
Who's Julio? That's the Skills Rock.
yeah. So I mean, he's like very well known in the LA, very well known. I mean, if you ask any quote unquote like LA reg, they know who Julio is. They all think he's a scumbag. They all know the stories of him like scamming people. I mean, I don't care about saying it on here. Everyone knows it, but it's fucking entertaining watching him be a psychopath. And like when he's looking at Barry's cards and 3-betting shoving the river, like, should he do that? No, but also like, in my opinion, like Barry, come on, man, like be smarter. Like you're sitting next to a scumbag, be smarter. You know what I mean? And I think it was fucking hilarious when he like 3-bet shoves the river, even if he sees his hand and slams over like the 5-high. That shit was beautiful to me.
I think there's been a couple situations where like a gentleman next to me is exposing his cards, right? Not on purpose, right? And my thing is, you'll give him, a warning, maybe 2, and then if he keeps doing it, it's like, sorry, dude. Like,
no, I agree.
I don't know what you want me to fucking do.
On Tuesday, I saw Antonio's cards early, and I told him right away. I was like, just so you know, like when you have your cards, I can see it. And like, or even like on Tuesday, Chris could see Big John's cards at one point and was telling him across the table. Yeah, I think you should tell the people, but I also think like it's if someone chooses not to because they're a scumbag, like that's just.
I mean, it's part of the game, right? Like it's a part. I don't know. Like
I don't know. I just am a big believer, and maybe it's just I played all my poker in LA that like poker's not like a kumbaya best friends thing. Like you're gonna run into like a lot of scumbags. Like we can have fun, but you're gonna run into scumbags. You're gonna run into people who are trying to get the best of you. Like I've been stiffed by people who are way fucking richer than me just because like they want to be assholes. Like it is what it is, And so
richer than you.
I know it's hard to imagine they exist.
Wow.
Yeah. So
shout out IPOF, right?
No. I lost so much money on that piece of shit.
Yeah. That's a little inside. It's okay.
But yeah, the show was really fun. I mean, it's crazy. Like the production being there is so much different than watching it. So it was really fun.
Edonk, you got anything you want to talk about specifically or generally with Mr. Nik while we've got him here?
I just want so was this game too big for you?
It was definitely like on the big side for me. Like I wouldn't play this game every single week. Probably be able to, but I mean, if I get a seat, I'll always play because gamble.
Yeah.
So
I mean, play, I'd say like I'm comfortable at 1020, 1025, 50, like I don't mind the 10 or 15K swings. it's pretty fine, whatever, we have them all the time. But this game, I feel like, I mean, I think I took 40,000. That could have been gone like 20 minutes, you know what I mean? Like that game plays really big. So, and it's just like one of those situations where like when Chris is steamed up, like the game's gonna play really fucking big, you know. And like I play a lot with Chris, like a lot of hours with Chris. And when Chris is like steamed up, the game is fucking on. And so, you know, it's gonna play big.
Yeah, I could imagine. I mean, it's what were some of the hands that stood out for you? I didn't see the whole stream. I saw when you luck boxed the 9-7. That was well played. You did great job. Great job flopping the nuts and getting the guy to stick all of his money in there.
I didn't really have that many interesting hands. There was only 2 hands that I thought were actually kind of interesting. One of them, Ronnie opened early and I defended the straddle with 10-8 off. It came 9-8-6 rainbow. I checked, he bet. Exactly. I checked, he bet, and then I considered check raising there and I called. And then the turn was a jack, and I was going to check raise him on the turn and then go for it on the river with the 10 blocker. But it went check, check. River was a king, and same thing. I was going to check raise him on the river because I thought he might try to rep the king or he could have it and I could get him off of it. And I checked, and he just checked back 7-8. So that was one there where I was like planning on going for it. There was another one, exactly, where I had king 4 diamonds.
This hand was awesome.
So I opened under the gun, which, I mean, I'm sure it's bad, but whatever. Like, I can't fold that hand. And then Mayhem and a bunch of other people call. Mayhem was on my direct left. The flop was queen 10-9, 2 diamonds, and Big John leads, which I think is just like usually one pair, but like who knows? He leads small. I think it was like 400 or something. I call just because like whatever. Mayhem on my left makes it 1200, and that's not really that great because, I mean, I don't know if you know, but like in this game, like a lot of the people put a lot of action in, but they put it in on like more of like the calling side versus like the aggression side. So I really wasn't in love when he raised, but I mean, come on, I have king high flush draw on a gutter, so I still feel like I could even thought about back jamming right there. I was like, I could just rep king jack, but then, you know, I just thought it would be suicide because he was never folding anything he raised. Turn was an ace, and that's when I was like really wanting to jam it in there on him because I felt like I just had, you know, it was a good card. But I checked and he bet so much, and then I was just like, fuck it, if he has the nut flush draw, it's bad. So I folded and he had the nut flush draw, so that was a nice one. But the most interesting hand that I thought was played, the commentators kind of got a sense of what I was thinking, but I don't think they fully got it. So it was Francisco opened late, Big John peeled on the button, and I was in the small blind with pocket 10s and no heart. I think I had black 10s. And so Francisco opened 300.
You got a big heart.
Well, I liked how I played the hand. And so I make it 1800. Francisco just calls, John calls. Flop is jack deuce 4. And so I think I have the best hand here a lot. So I'm betting for value. I bet like 2K into 6. And I mean, I'm trying to get value from like a 4, worst pocket pairs, whatever, right? So I bet 2K. Francisco calls, John's all in for just a little bit less, like 1850 or 1900. I can't remember. And at this point, like, personally, I thought I was probably dead for the main in one of the spots, whether John or Francisco, one of them has the jack, and I'm just in really bad shape. On the turn king, at this point, I was like, as long as Francisco doesn't have king jack, I can just make some money in the side pot. So I kind of like wrote off the main pot. I was like, there's a chance against Big John I might like be best, but there's also a chance I'm just dead, right? So I figured on the turn, I bet small. I bet 1500 into like 10,000 or whatever, because I wanted Francisco to call on the turn, because I was going to try to bluff him off on the river to break even on the pot. That was my plan, because I was pretty sure that on the turn he had like a jack, and then I could get him to call like a small bet, and then on the river, whatever it was, I was just going to blast it off to make sure I won the side pot, because I figured I like couldn't win the main. So that was my plan there, but he ended up just folding the queens on the turn, which I thought was fucking insane for such a small price. And so, I mean, honestly, that probably like that worked out even better, because me and John ran it twice, and you know I would have gotten scooped for the main. Instead, I chopped the main. But that hand, like I was hoping he was going to call the turn, and I thought I was behind. But my plan was just to build the side pot so I could bluff him out for it, because I figured there's no way he can call a big bet on the river unless he has king jack.
Did you remind him? Did you remind him after that hand that you were a pro?
No, because I had no idea what he folded in the moment. So I thought maybe he had 7s and I had the best hand.
So what do you do after the? Did you talk to him, or did you go back and watch it?
No, I didn't. I had no idea what he had. Honestly, I just thought I had the best hand when he folded. I thought there was no way in hell he would fold a hand better than 10s, but I mean,
Well, no, what I'm saying is, he had queen. So did you go back and watch it?
no. Someone texted me.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen the whole thing yet. I have to watch it later. I just been too busy with work.
So can you you got a direct line to Ryan? So if you want to play and you can fuel up the private jet, you'll head back across the country.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I can get a seat on any given day, but I think I can get a seat like a lot of the time if I want. I've played a lot in Ryan and Nick's player pool, and like, I honestly, it kind of sucked. I really wanted to play more hands, but there just wasn't a lot of spots. I know it doesn't show a lot of the folded hands, but man, there was just so much trash. But yeah, I mean, I would like to play again in the game. I think next time I need to take more money so I can buy in deeper and have like more deeper bullets, because the game plays, it's only interesting to me when it's deep. Like when we're only 10K deep, I feel like the money just gets in so fucking fast in that game. Like at 10K deep, that you got to be deeper in order for it to play like a little bit more interesting.
Right. That first hand that you played, that one you got all in.
Yeah.
That was because you were in for 10K, right?
You got all your money in with the nuts.
Yeah, that's the only way I do it.
Brave.
I like to play Hold'em. I'm not really good, or even close to good. So I don't think I'll ever be on Hustler Casino Live. I don't know. What about you, Edok? You think you'll ever be on it?
I'm trying to get over there in end of March.
What would you play, Edok? Would you play like the 10-20?
I think it's a 10-20-40 game on Mondays, isn't it?
I don't know, but it's like a 10K cap, I think. So that's not. Yeah, you know what we should do when DJ
the game you played in is I cannot afford that.
Neither can I, but whatever.
Credit card advances, am I right?
That's all right.
YOLO.
I mean, to be honest, when I'm playing live, like playing capped is really tilting to me. Not that 10K cap is like really small, but just like if I get stuck a lot, like when there's a cap, man, it's fucking frustrating. Like, like there's no worse feeling when you can't double up and be even, in my opinion.
So like just about every night on the app game,
Exactly.
you can't double up and get even.
Yeah. No, the app is fun. With the app, man, when I say like I'm an emotional player, I mean it. Like if I get steamed up, like things will just go, like I don't really have like a B through D game. It's like I either play good or I play just fucking horrible, because it's just, that mode. And then the app, you can get into that mode really fast because you just take a couple quick bad beats and it's just like, or whatever, and I'm just ready to give it away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
well, there's plenty of hands to go through for that, right? I mean, the hands come out obviously quicker, and you're able to spew off harder and quicker, and
it's probably why they save you a seat every night.
Something like that.
All right, so Edom.
Did they pay for your flight out there?
No, I actually was flying out there for a work thing, so my work paid for all that shit.
Nice.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. At least the expense report will say that you were working.
Yeah, exactly.
We know how that works. So Edonk, end of March, huh? Maybe try to get Nick involved in that. That way you have a chance of beating somebody, right, Nick?
I'd play.
I just so one thing for me, I think the masks take away from the live stream. Not that I am sort of anti-mask, but only because I'm vaccinated but that's a whole nother fucking story. Whatever, we won't get down that rabbit. But I think it takes away from the live stream. I think it takes away from, like you're supposed to be drinking at the table.
Yeah, I mean, I think with the live stream, there's 3 big issues right now. 1 is the masks. 2 is you can't eat or drink at the table, which is fucking torture. And then 3 is I think the rule should be you always run it once. I mean, like when I was all in with Francisco, I asked him if he wanted to go twice because I always am going to offer twice because that's just like what I do personally. Like I don't care what we do. It goes up to me. I don't want to piss anyone off because a lot of those guys will get upset if you don't go twice. Like always, like a standard. But I personally think for the live stream, just fucking go once for blood is just the way to go. Like it would just make the stream way more entertaining.
I specifically had this conversation last night with Miss Dawn. We were watching, and like a lot of things, like with the Scumbags, there's a balancing act that Nick and Ryan have to do. And for people watching, 100% it should be run at once. I mean, as a TV show. But for the players, I mean, it's real money, right? It's real money. And when they pile in $30,000, I mean, it's a balancing act. You got to get the players to come.
It's funny though, because to be honest, I think $30,000 for these guys is significantly less than maybe a buy-in for most people who are playing poker on average, relatively. The thing is, these guys are all like very successful, very smart, like very accomplished people in life. And so for them, for example, like they want to always feel like they're being treated well. And so a lot of that has to do with like always running it twice. Like you'll see sometimes like there's been big spots where like, for example, Nick's been all in against someone and they're like one time and you can tell Nick's upset, or like, you know, like, and that's not unreasonable. Like personally, like I don't really care, but I think, you know, like it's not worth pissing someone off because you just, you know, one time, whatever, you know, like Garrett used to do that always one time. And then now he's like, oh, whatever you want, because you don't need to be an asshole about it, you know, and like, it's just not a big deal. But is it better for the stream if it's one time? Yeah, I mean, if everyone's fucking just massively stuck versus chopping pots, it's way better. But it's also just not as sustainable because you're gonna piss someone off who's just gonna be like, "Fuck you, I'm not coming back," and not because of the money, but just because of like they're gonna feel like they got like slighted because you wouldn't let them have two chances.
Well, it's a great show. I watch it more than I probably should. It keeps me from getting shit accomplished at night. So a couple of things here at Fade the Mahoney, as we mentioned on the previous episode, in regards to both Ben Roethlisberger and Harvey Weinstein, Fade the Mahoney is on the record as being anti-rape. But when it comes to Hustler Casino Live, pro HCL. It's a great show. We're very, very happy that DJAF has such a big hand in it. The weeks that he's on are even better. Make sure you check out the thumbnail for this episode. I think you'll like it, Nick.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I mean, I'll say this, the show is incredible, you know, the production is incredible, the dealers handle all the situations very, very well. The other funny thing was, like, for example, when we were playing that Chinese, oh my gosh, I think we discussed this. Did you see that part of the show when we were playing when the Chinese band or whatever came into the thing?
Yeah.
So Eli and Nick are playing like a fucking 40K pot, and I can't even explain to you how loud it was. Like, it was loud. I watched it because they posted a clip this morning. I watched it. It was loud over the screen.
Yeah.
In that moment, like, I was talking to Mayhem. We couldn't even talk to each other. It was so fucking loud.
I would have been on so fucking monkey tilt if I was Eli.
Yeah,
like,
and that's what I was said. I was like, dude,
I would have been losing my fucking mind.
Yeah, I told you, I was like, you're a gentleman, dude. I'd have been so mad. I would have stormed out there and punched one of them in the face if I lost fucking 40K pot, because I couldn't think as you're just, you know, the whole time.
Do you think, did they schedule that specifically so that it would be on the show?
Yeah, they told us beforehand there was going to be some sort of like Chinese New Year show that's going to come on at some point.
And
it was just unfortunate timing. Luckily, Eli he's so classy. I mean, he didn't make one complaint. Like, he even joked about it later. I mean, Eli was getting his head smashed in that day, and he is just super classy. It's hard to I always got to say, people who can lose with class, it's very admirable, because when I get stuck a bunch, like, I start fucking steaming, you know. But Chris, Eli, they handle it really, really well, and, you know, that's very admirable.
Obviously, we want the best for you, but it's probably good for HCL if the next time you're on, things go south. Probably
it would have been better. Yeah. Trust me, before the stream started, I was talking to Chris, and he was saying, like, we get you stuck, we'll have a game. But luckily, I didn't get stuck. Listen, I think everyone knows reality. I'll play pretty good if I'm like in a good headspace. If I'm not, the game will be fucking on from my perspective, and I'll add on all the chips that I have, and we'll just play. But, you know, I didn't get too steamed up, so I was able to keep it under control.
All right, cool. Well, I think I speak for a lot of people who are watching this. We're very grateful that Ryan and Nick have done what they've done. It's a cool show. gives us something to watch, gives something to for Edong to aspire to go play. Live up to the standard that you set, Nick. All right, Nick, let's have you want the Fade the Mahoney experience?
Yeah. So what do? I pick something?
Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there. First off, you got to tell me what your favorite Taylor Swift song is.
Taylor Swift song.
Nick's never watched the show once in his life. Never once.
I've watched clips. I saw you had like Maria Ho on and Joe Stapleton and shit.
We did.
I know things.
We did.
Okay, Taylor Swift. I don't know any songs.
Oh,
That's brutal.
okay.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm in the same boat.
I can give you a Beyonce song.
All right, new segment. Favorite Beyonce
No,
song.
I was just making a Kanye West joke.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
That's like 20 years old, man. Come on. Edonk, do you get that one?
I didn't.
Okay.
I'm not. No.
She won Video of the Year for something, and Kanye came up while she was receiving it and said, "No offense, but." He basically said, "No offense, but you suck compared to Beyonce." But no offense. All right. You got how about LeBron James changing his jersey number in the middle of the playoffs last year after getting eliminated, needing the spotlight on him after they got eliminated? What do you think about that?
Oh, whatever works, man. Like if you gotta change your shirt, change your underwear, like that's gonna bring you to winning. I'm a big believer, you know.
Mm-hmm. All right.
That's what makes champions. It's not about like the work ethic in the gym. It's about finding like the good voodoo, you know?
Okay.
It's like parking in the lucky spot at the casino.
Yeah, like when I get torched on the app, as I'm getting torched, I'll go change my clothes, you know, I'll go take a shower. It's not a joke. You know, I'll find something to eat. I'll try to do anything to change the luck, you know, because I've thrown shirts away because they were unlucky after one wear. If it's unlucky, I don't want it around me.
Where would you go if you needed to replace some shirts?
Pokerrags.us. That's right.
Nice product integration. All right. The game, the big game. We're compiling a list of everybody's picks. I'll probably post it. We had Jag on. Nick, have you seen the movie Rounders? Have you heard of Rounders?
I have.
Our show earlier this week, we interviewed a gentleman by the name of Jeffrey Allen Grasso, who sued Miramax.
Were you familiar with the fact that Rounders was stolen, basically?
The guy you're talking about, he was the original writer, right, or something?
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that he had in his screenplay ended up in Rounders.
Where is he based out of?
He's in California. He's in.
Yeah, I met this guy.
Oh yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
dude.
the story was very familiar. I think he told me the whole backstory about how like the network stole it from him, and it was like didn't he write it in college or something? I can't remember, but
Yeah,
I remember. I think I've talked to this guy. I don't know where I met him, maybe in a casino or something, but the story sounds familiar.
All right, all of you
he's
people.
a friend of Irie's.
Yeah.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
Of course, everyone's a friend of Irie's.
He was on. We had him on this week, and he's got a book coming out. So we talked about the book, and a lot of people have watched that episode. So if you get a chance, you should watch it. But he took the Bengals in the Super Bowl. He was our first pick. I'm trying my best to circle back with a bunch of guests that we've had throughout the year to get their Super Bowl pick. So now it's on you. The Bengals are getting 4.5 points against the Rams in the Super Bowl in 9 days from now?
Mm-hmm.
Who would you bet on? What do you got? What do you think?
Well, I'm gonna bet the Bengals.
Okay. On a scale of 1 to 5 stars, how many stars would you give it? 5 means you already know the outcome of the game, and 1 just because I'm making.
Oh, well, I mean, I only bet when I know the outcome, so 5.
Okay. All right. Well, we've got 2, what I assume are Mahoney's on, and they're both on the Bengals so far.
Who else was with the Bengals?
The gentleman who wrote Rounders, Jeffrey Allen Grasso. He also took the Bengals.
This is so confusing to me because everyone at the casino were huge Rams fans. Huge.
You had a poker room lock yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah. Speaking of poker room locks, shout out to Lucas, the dealer from Grand Victoria. He unsolicited, he came up to me and he goes, you know what? He goes, you should bet UNC Wilmington tonight. And I said, fucking UNC Wilmington. I go, what do you know about them? And he's like, well, they got a great record. They're undefeated in conference, blah, blah, blah. And you know, they're on the road and they're only -1. And Elon is terrible. And he goes on and he's breaking this fucking game down, right? And it's great, right? I'm like, okay, keep going. And I said, how much do you love it? Like on a scale of 1 to 10. And he's like 9.5. And I'm like, oh my God, fucking. And I fired Elon last night. They covered by like 15.
Poker room lock. Lucas is Franco Harris, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Shout out Franco Harris. If you see him today, make sure you tell him to check out the show. All right. Coming up next week.
Fucking that's the best.
I'm still trying to lock down David Baker. He won the super contest in 2020. So he knows how to bet on some sports. Still trying to lock that down. We've got DGAF coming on in the middle of the week to break down Super Bowl props. And then the week after the Super Bowl, we got to transition into different sports. We're going to do some hockey talk with David Tuckman and Daniel Negreanu. So that's what's coming up.
Yeah, you guys got like some famous ass people coming on here.
And you, Nick.
That's right.
That's what's coming up. People really like the show this week with I think people like Rounders. It's a pretty popular movie. So you should give it a watch, Nick. Spread the good word. Everybody, please like and subscribe. I'm thinking you're going to bring some new people onto our platform because people love Hustler Casino Live. Because the show is awesome. I think so. You got anything else you want to share with the people? Or are we good?
I'm good.
You donk?
Is there any chance you'll go out to Vegas at the end of March? We're going to go to LA. We're going to take a party bus from LA to Vegas. And then we're going to watch the second round of the NCAA March Madness.
Okay, well, I'll break some news, I guess.
Ooh.
So part of the reason I was in LA, well, actually the whole reason I was in LA was I was interviewing for a job. And I found out yesterday that they're going to make me an offer. So hopefully we'll be moving back to LA soon. And then I'm going to be in it for everything and be in Vegas all the time.
You can get your shit stolen again.
Yeah.
No, man, well, we already agreed. We're just getting rid of everything and we're stealing it ourselves. We're just going to throw
We're
it
just
away.
going to buy it again.
Yeah.
Maybe on the way back, they'll deliver the shit.
Have you been in New York for a year?
Yeah, about a year.
Oh. Long enough.
I don't like New York.
Yeah.
I don't like New York. No.
Yeah, fucking that weather seems just as bad as where we're at. Fuck.
Yeah, the thing about New York that's brutal for me is, well, the weather. Because like in the winter, like my lips get cut up, my hands, my face, like it's so cold. And in the summer, like I mean, I'm sure you know this. We're big guys. We sweat. It's fucking like 105, 95% humidity. Like I step outside for half a second and I have to go shower again. I hate that. And so I just can't handle New York weather. It's the worst.
Yeah, it's probably just as bad as Chicago. I mean, the brutally cold and then just humid. There's like maybe 2.5, 3 months of the whole year that I enjoy.
Yeah.
You know, 6 weeks in the spring and 6 weeks in the fall.
So breaking news, the most breakingest news we've ever dropped on this show to all you people who play poker in the LA area. Looks like Nick's coming back. So congratulations. Right. Congratulations to all you people.
I'm sure all those game organizers helped get you that job. I mean, if they're smart, they would have.
All right.
I still get all the private game texts every week. 2550 PLO, Hollywood Hills, girls, food, chef, 8 p.m. start.
Of course.
You get the full whale treatment. Congratulations. That's how you know you're one of life's winners. You get the whale treatment.
Life's good. I can't complain. Winning at poker, losing at poker, life's good.
All right. That's the show. Hope everybody enjoyed it. Nick, this is awesome. Thanks for coming.
Hopefully we'll see you soon, Nick.
Glad
Definitely.
All right. Say goodbye, everybody. Good gambling.
All right, man. Later.